everyone, this is Papa Blue Shirt, and I did a project here on our house, and I just wanted to document it, and so I could have it for future reference. But maybe it'll help someone who's doing the same project. Um, this is a picture of our house, and as you see, it's got these really old, like mobile home windows. And every winter, it gets condensation all on the inside, then it freezes into a big icicle, and then it all melts and gets all moldy. And ever since we've lived here, we've wanted to replace these, and we decided this was the year we was going to do it. And these type of windows, you take them out. There's no windowsill, so they're like a mobile home. It's like it's like a storm window. There's nothing there when you take them off. So what we decided to do was to use windows that were meant for new construction and to take it off and install it on this old construction house, and which has its own issues. So let's get into it here, and let's see how it goes. First of all, we had to take off all the siding, and didn't know exactly what we was going to get into, but this first window went really easy. So because they put the sheeting underneath the window, and which we didn't know on the other ones it was going to be a lot harder, but this one went real easy. And the object was to put these in and not have to remove any of the trim or anything on the inside. So what we ended up doing is used expanding foam on the outside, and I drilled holes in each of the about 8 or 10 inches apart, and then I sprayed in the foam until it started to come out the other hole, and then I knew the cavity was full. This is our first indication here that we was going to have an issue. The sheeting was over top of the window. We tried to pry it out and get it out, and we ended up breaking the old window. So we decided, well, we're going to have to cut it with a saw. So that's what we did. So I cut, tried to cut in the middle of the 2x4, and but not hit the window, and it worked out real well. Kind of messy, but and I had to do the same one on this one here. I had to cut each side all the way around to expose the flange of the window, and so we could pull the window out, and that worked out really nice. And I was happy to see that they had 1-inch styrofoam insulation underneath this, so it was insulated very well. We had to test fit it a few times and make sure it was level, and get it in position, and then foam it in, and wait for the foam to dry. The main thing with the foam here is to get the kind that is used for installing on windows, because otherwise it'll expand and it will bow your window, and it might cause it to break. Because expanding foam, can be very strong. They use that to move concrete, so it can be very strong. So it's very important to get the kind that is made for installing windows. This particular area here was hard because we had the air conditioner and had the electrical service on the other side. I don't know why this went out of focus here, but it did. And so I just pried it out and put a 2x4 behind it and kind of worked and slid myself, back in there enough to get in there. I was real happy that all the siding lined up. I did have to cut, a 1/4 inch here and a 1/4 inch there off of one side, but I was happy it fit. And how I did it, I measured on the inside of the windows. It's got like a 1x6, and I just added a 1/2 inch on each side, and that would get it inside of that and still leave me a 1/2 inch so I can move back and forth. So that worked out very well. We have been here for like eight years, and I've always wanted to do this, and I was a little unsure how to measure and get it how I needed it, and was real happy with the way it turned out. Now, these are the ones here that getting to the bigger windows, we wondered if it was going to be any harder, and it did turn out to be challenging. I decided to take the whole sheeting off on this one side here, and it worked out okay. But for some reason, the inner trim work didn't line up, so we did have to take off the inside trim on this one window. But on the other window, I learned how to compensate for it, and I used that 1/4 inch poster board, and I could cut strips on it, and that made it so it would line up, and I wouldn't have to mess with the inside. So on the one side, I did have to cut off a 1/4 inch on the inside to make the trim go back in far enough. But on the inside and the outside, you can't tell the difference. So I was real happy with the way it turned out. And so we got that in there, and we were working our way up to the big window. We were really concerned about it because there's just us, me and 2 girls, and didn't know how heavy it was. And I mean, we knew it was heavy, but didn't know if we could handle it. And so this was kind of a dry run here of how that was going to be. And so that was the end of that day, and I ripped off the siding and got it off and ready for the next day. This is like the 3rd or the 4th day now. And so the next morning I come out and we got that out of there, and I put that insulation around, and it fit just right. So we put the siding back up here, and I used the same holes that the nails come out of, so I would know that it would line up, whenever possible. And on this, on that expanding foam, what I ended up doing is drilling like every 8 or 10 inches, just big enough so I could get the straw in. And then I would spray it in, and when it would come out the other hole, then I would move on to the next one. I'd already put in the front window. This is kind of funny. When I started working on this, I started in the back, and my original idea was to get all the siding off. So the next day, I thought, I'm just going to go for it. So and see if I could take these apart, take the old window apart, because they're joined together. And my wife asked my daughter, "Is he taking that window out?" And she said, "Yep, he's going for it." It's getting kind of late in the day. Didn't know exactly how we were going to get it up high enough because the girls couldn't lift their end and hold it up there and get it in the hole. And so we devised a thing to do with the buckets with 2x4s, and we lifted it up off the ground, got it up to the buckets, and then we could get rehold on it, and we could lift it up the rest of the way and get it in. So it worked out real nice. And then the next day I come back, and I decided, I don't like that foam spraying out everywhere. So I got a little round dowel, and I cut little round dowels, and I would drive it in with a hammer inside the holes to block the foam. So, but you can see the foam comes out the bottom. So that let me know that it was getting everywhere, and it kept the foam to a minimum of a mess than I did on the other ones. And then here we are getting the rest of the siding up and doing all the cleaning, and we could smell the victory right here. We were getting pretty close to being done. And there's how it ended up. And boy, it really made a difference in everything. We are so glad to get these windows done. There's the one by the air conditioner that was out of focus. You can see it turned out very well. These are not in very good focus here, but they all turned out real well. We're happy with the way it turned out, and we were able to get all the windows, and we kind of had to do it backwards without removing all the inside interior, but you can do it. Alrighty, well, this is Papa Blue Shirt, and like I said, we're real happy with the way it turned out, and hopefully it'll help somebody if they're doing the same project. I just wanted to have it up here so I could come back and look at it, and so I could show my son in Alaska how his old man did it. Alrighty, well, goodbye, good luck, and may the good Lord take a liking to you.
Goodbye, good luck, and may the good Lord take a liking to you, liking to you.